Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another session. What I would like to speak upon today is about letting go. Okay, many of us have the problem of letting go of something, and I was wondering that what makes it so difficult for us to let it go. Well, the first and the foremost thing is that we cannot let it go because we have expected something out of a particular situation. We have expected something out of someone when it comes to relationship. We have expected something out of ourselves also. Yeah. Secondly, we have projected a lot upon someone, upon something, that yes, this is going to happen, it is going to be this way. Yeah. So there is a lot of projection on particular thing. And thirdly, we have built on a lot of hopes about a particular thing. For example, in a relationship, it's like maybe you expected some person to stay in your life. When you met them, you were constructing something and you felt, oh, we are going to be together for the whole life. But things didn't turn out like that, and one of the person has left the scene. So what happens over here is that your expectations are crushed. Yeah, your path has been blocked. So because of this, what is happening exactly is that you are finding it difficult to let go because you had put so many expectations, you had put so many hopes, you had built something inside of you, is that this will be like this. But in life, unfortunately, everything doesn't go according to what we hope for, what we have projected about, or what we have expected. Yes. So we need to change this because we cannot sit with these feelings. What comes after that is that when something like this happens, is that we become unforgiving, we become bitter inside, like, if it's a relationship, we become unforgiving towards a particular person. This beautiful feeling of love is replaced by the feeling of anger, of hatred, of unforgiveness. Yeah, be it of resentment and of disappointment. So even if it's a particular relationship, if it's your job, if it's your, when you're studying, you are aspiring to become something and you haven't got in there an admission, for example, in a medical college or an arts college or whatever it is, and you haven't got there, then what happens is that you were building your hopes and they have crashed, and then it becomes very difficult, and then you start entering into this bitterness of anger, unforgiveness, and then what happens is that you block your path. That's it. You have reached a dead end. Because why? Because all the time you're ruminating all those things that have not worked out, and it becomes very difficult to let go. Yeah, so these are the little bit of the reasons that I'm telling you why we cannot let it go, because of the expectation game. The more the expectations, the more is the disappointment. This is directly proportional. The amount of your expectations is directly proportional to the amount of your disappointments. Yeah. So now how do we get out of it? Because it's difficult, right? It becomes very difficult. Now, for example, if somebody has broken your heart and walked away out of your life, you become very bitter inside and you cannot let go. And then you keep on thinking about that past. You think about, most probably some of you with your parents, you who have had a problem with your siblings, with your colleagues. If somebody has done you wrong, it's very difficult to let it go, yeah, because the unforgiveness is very high, and the anger also. Why this kind of feeling of injustice is really, really there. So now, how do we deal with it? First of all, we need to accept. It's difficult. I know it's difficult, but we have to, because we cannot stay blocked like that. We cannot stay stagnated like that in our life, right? So we need to accept. Say, okay, I accept that it has happened with me. I have been deceived, or my dreams have remained unfulfilled with this particular person or on this particular project. I accept it. So what are you doing when you are accepting it? Actually, you are giving a place for solution, because so far you were blocked. You couldn't. Yeah. So right now, what are you doing? You are accepting. That means what you're doing, you're creating a door actually for the solution to come in. Then what are you doing? Secondly, you surrender. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight this situation. I have accepted the situation and now I surrender. All the time having the knife in your hand is not going to help you. It's just going to make you tired at the end of the day, or at the end of your life you are totally tired and totally defeated. Why? Because you couldn't let that particular thing of that time go, or today you are facing a situation you cannot let it go. So what are you doing? Instead of freeing yourself, you are becoming a prisoner to all those negative blocks of energies. So what happens is that when you open this door, you are accepting something, and then what are you doing? You are surrendering. You are surrendering to the power of the Almighty. You are surrendering to the power of the universe. You are surrendering to the power of God. And when you have a greater force up there who can take good care of you, why do you need to fight here on this earth? You cannot control everything, right? So surrender. You just need to surrender. You're surrendering them in the arms of the universe. You say, okay, I surrender. I don't want to fight anymore. I surrender. And then the healing starts taking place. You will start healing yourself, because now the energy of construction comes and replaces the energy of destruction. Isn't it wonderful? Because so far you were just fighting. You were just, this has happened to me and all that. And then suddenly you just accept, yes, this has happened. And what am I doing with it? I'm just fighting it all the time. I'm tired. I am tired of fighting. I cannot fight anymore. So I surrender. I just surrender. And let God take over. Let this wonderful power of the universe, this motherly energy of the universe take over. And I give healing a chance. And you won't believe is that the healing will start at that very moment. Try something. Ask somebody to hold a rope for you, those kind of ropes. And you hold it from one side. And then from both the sides, both of you start pulling the rope, okay? With your bare hands, okay? I've tried it. You start pulling it and pulling it. For some time it's fun. You're applying all your force because I want to win. Yeah, I am going to make that person fall down for whatever, okay? Imagine that particular situation and you're pulling that rope. And the other side, the person is pulling that rope. So what is happening is that after some time, your hands start getting wounded. Still you're going on. The grip is strong. You're going on. Yeah, pulling that rope. And at one point what happens is that your hands start bleeding. Yet you want to hold it. You don't want to give up on that. Finally, what's happening? Most probably the other person might release the rope, or you release the rope. And what happens when you release the rope? You're free. Whatever the problem is falls down there. Yeah, you have surrendered it. So the amount of energy that you had used, you have hurt yourself in that. So your hands are paining, they are bleeding. So what did you get out of holding on to that negative thing? Pain. And what did you feel after releasing it? Liberation. So you need to release that grip on that particular rope that you're holding on to. I would even say not just hold to it, but just cut it off. Let it go. You don't need it. You need to let it go. Just let it go. If you have done something wrong and it's difficult for you to, difficult to let it go, you need to forgive yourself also in that situation. Forgiveness is very important. I know in many situations it will be very difficult because there are a lot of very painful things that happen in the lives of everyone. Yeah, there might be one thing that has really marked your life, that has scarred your life, yeah, that has scarred your heart for the whole lifetime. But you cannot hold on to it because you are blocking your evolution. And believe me, You need to believe in yourself that after you have released this particular situation at hand, you have let go this situation, what is going to happen is actually you're opening a door. A new path lies in front of you. Many a times we feel, why didn't I get this particular thing in my life? Why I missed this bus? Why? I mean, for me it has happened. I wanted to become a doctor. Everything was coming my way. Everything was there. And I was supposed to go and I was supposed to pay, the fees and enroll myself. And that was the dead limit, that, the date limit that was there, that I had to go to that particular city and enroll myself. Unfortunately, due to some riots, all the buses and trains were cancelled. I couldn't go there. I couldn't go. I couldn't reach. And after that, when we reached over there, they said, "We are sorry, you came late." I was in tears because the first love of my life, I have lost it. I felt like that. I was in total tears and I felt bad inside of me. I felt how unfair. We explained everything. My parents explained everything to them, that they said, yes, everything accepted, but this was the date. And we have given her place to somebody else. Ooh, can you imagine how I must have felt inside all this while I studied night and day and, to secure this position, and I had lost it. But then I had to accept. It was difficult. I would almost say it took few months for me. It was difficult for me to again go and take a new stream of studies. But then suddenly, one night, I don't know how, but this is the divine grace, this is what we say, that it came into my mind, is that God somehow spoke to me. The divine spoke to me inside of me, telling me, you have a better path. I've chosen you for something else. And something clicked. And next day, like, my parents were feeling very bad for me, and I came back smiling at the breakfast table and everything, and they were like, are you okay? Smile. they were feeling nice to see me smile over there like that. And I said, yeah, I am fine. And I said, yes, so I will continue my post-graduation. I said like that. And things like, they were relieved, actually. They were relieved. And inside of me, I knew that the voice that had spoken to me at night was the divine voice. And I knew that there was something better waiting for me. And yes, indeed, it did happen. Life unfolded in a different way and things were right. And I now look back and I said, finally, I'm happy with what I have today. It's not about, it's not about the ego, because when the ego takes over, then you feel like, oh, I lost this or I lost that. No, in fact, I gained more. After I lost that path, I gained more after. I gained more on different paths and in very short span of time. So actually, maybe I was not supposed to go from that road. There were some, there were some things that the divine wanted to save me from a particular path, or wanted me to do something else in a different way. So it directed my path. The divine directed my path, and this is what it is all about. Sometimes we don't realize, and it becomes very difficult because of certain failures. We feel we have failed, but actually it is not a failure. It is not a failure. There is no word like failure. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Failure cannot exist. It is just the ways of doing things are different. There is no failure. It is never a statement. For me, I just don't believe when people say, oh, I failed. No, you cannot fail. I mean, come on. What is failure? Who determines failures? Oh, if you get something, you have won. And if you don't get something, you have lost. Well, excuse me, that doesn't exist. Really, I mean, in my opinion, failure doesn't exist at all. It is not there. And it is something to make somebody feel bad about something. I mean, nothing. Who determines all these criteria? So you need to tell yourself inside of you, be it your relationship also. If you have, lost somebody, if you have lost someone whom you had put your hopes on, and this person has walked out, you should just let them go. Let it go. Let them go. Let them go their path, because something better is waiting for you. Because you know what? The expectations really make us suffer a lot. And then you have to be ready for the disappointments. You have to assume your responsibility, my dear. So you need to let it go. No matter what path it is, how difficult it is, you need to know that there is a divine plan waiting for you. And this divine plan has very strange twists and turns. Sometimes you make a U-turn also, okay? Sometimes you have to come back to square one, to start over again. So once you are put on your path, you need to keep going that path. Whatever comes, just like a traveler, you are going, meet those things, accept those things, surrender certain things that are not required. Some people will come, some people will go. This is life. Life is a continuation. It doesn't stop. And if you keep on stopping, that means you are not living, you are dead. You have to let it go. You have to surrender, my friends. So well, forgive yourself. Let go of this anger and let the spirit of the divine guide you to let it go. Because holding on is much more painful than letting go, my dear ones. And I would like to tell you is that I have a meditation on forgiveness. Well, the link is just here, so you need to follow this, and I'm sure that it will help you. So please do take a look at this video. It might help you in letting go, my dear ones. And yes, everything in life happens not just for the best, but for the bestest. So you need to know that no matter what it is, you will see there is this magic, and you have to make you have to let this happen. You have to let this happen. But sometimes letting go is the solution to, get this beautiful energy into your life and to go on the divine path also. So may you be always protected, and may the divine help you in letting go whatever you are struggling with. So bye-bye and God bless. Take care. See you soon. Bye.